Alright guys, forgive the rain if you hear it. This is just a little odds and ends, or ends and odds if Keith Rucker has odds and ends trademarked by now. I went to the Old Dixie Highway 90-mile long yard sale. And if you're not familiar with that, it happens once a year, and basically Old Dixie Highway is Old 41 that goes up through Georgia. And for about 90 miles, people come out and do their yard sales on the side of the road. It's usually a pretty good sale. The last couple years have been a little bit light. The last couple years have kind of been rainouts. My dad and I try to go every year, and I usually find some good stuff. And I'll show you a few things here. I got this couple things on the table, then I got a couple other things that are a little bigger, so I'll have to move these. First thing, just an example of the kind of deals you get. A pair of real vice grip brand little sheet metal benders. $3. Brand new, still wrapped up O-ring set. These usually, I think these retail for about 20 bucks. These were $7. A rosebud tip for my torch. Unfortunately, this is so far is kind of a bust because I thought it would fit my torch, but it doesn't. I know I can modify it though to fit mine. I have a Harris torch. If anybody knows what this fitting is for, what this came off of, let me know. Mine does not look like this at all. It's actually a female end and not a male end. I thought this might just thread into what I have, but it doesn't. It's just a slightly different thread. I'm sure I can probably get an adapter for this if I know what this connector is. So if anybody knows, let me know if that looks familiar to you. So there's that. It is a Rosebud. It's got 5 holes there for burning. Been wanting one of these for a while. The only ones I can find for that fit directly onto my torch are about 50 bucks. This was $10. This is an old General Scribe pick, whatever you want to call it. It was free. It was in one of the other things that I'm going to show you in a minute. These two items came together. This everybody knows. It's an old Craftsman 1/2-inch drive. It's in good condition. Sounds good. I've needed one of these for a while. I have a Great Bend, I think is the brand. It's Chinese, probably from Harbor Freight or someplace like that. It was cheap, and it's broken. In fact, I may do a video where we figure out why it's broken, and in the process do a video on taking this one apart and cleaning it. This one's in good shape. It's got the button on the back to release your socket. It works. It goes both ways. You always want to check if you're buying used ratchets to make sure they go both ways and they ratchet all the way around so you don't hear any broken teeth. So that's good. Just an old USA Craftsman. It came with this one. Now this, it could be probably the find of the day. This is SK Tools. If you're not familiar with SK Tools has been in business, I think, since the early 1900s. Everything they make, 100% made in the USA. It's also made 100% from US steel. They don't buy cheap steel, and their stuff reflects it. It's snap-on prices, but it's good stuff. And I've been wanting one of these for a while with the swiveling head, but honestly, I can't afford SK Tools. This tool retail originally was $140. So I picked these two up, and this is one of those deals where it always pays to look through the tote of tools. The guy had a big, 10-gallon totes. I think they're 10-gallon totes, full of tools. Most of it Taiwan, cheap, old, worn-out sockets. But I found these two, and I pulled them out and showed them to him. He goes, "Oh, that's a Craftsman. $20 for the pair." He didn't know what this was. Like I said, this tool alone, used, is at least $40 or $50. The Craftsman's a good find. This puppy right here, I love good tools. Before we move on, I'll say one more thing about SK Tools. SK has a lifetime warranty, so even if this was broken, which it's not, it's in excellent condition, they'll replace it. I've got a lot of SK Tools, none of them were bought new. I've got a torque wrench that I got on eBay. Nobody knows what it is. It's a $250 torque wrench. This was basically brand new that I got for $40 because nobody knows SK Tools, and I'm not sure why, because You know, most people know Proto, they know Snap-on, they know Mac, they know Matco, but for some reason SK seems to slip through sometimes. Alright, we got two 6-inch KC brand, there it is, KC brand, 6-inch spotlights. A lot of builders use these as a headlight for their bobbers or choppers. They're perfect for that. Very good condition. Need polished up a little bit, but two of them, 15 bucks. Kennedy Toolbox. I told you before, I love good tools. I love good toolboxes. I have a Kennedy box way over there in the corner. That's my Kennedy machinist box. This is just kind of a normal standard toolbox. Good shape. The only thing it's missing is a bail right here for the central lock. I can make that, no big deal. You'll rarely find them with broken handles, at least in my experience. Inside's in good condition. It's got some writing on it. It's got some tape on it, but good condition inside. No rust. There's the Kennedy brand number. Let's see what that is. I don't know if you can read that. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but I couldn't pass it up, but I'm going to show you why in just a second. This is not a Kennedy, it's a Waterloo, an old Waterloo. Waterloo has been bought out by Black & Decker. I don't know what they make anymore. The old Waterloo boxes, I've been doing a little research on them. I wasn't very familiar with them. They're basically Kennedy quality, a little bit less from what I can tell. All the drawers have felt in them. This was empty, of course. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawer unit. Very well built, USA made, has the front cover, of course, just like a Kennedy box. Oops. They have these little locks in here. There's a little lock right there, so when you put the lid down, it locks the front cover. All the drawers are drawers need just a little bit of maintenance on them. It's definitely been used. Yeah, there we go. They come out all the way, positive stop, push back in nice. All have their original felt, like I said. This must have came from the same place because it's got numbers on it as the Kennedy box, like right there. Let me show you the tag here. It's Waterloo JL70, I guess is the model number of the box. 20 bucks for this box and the Kennedy box. Basically $10 a piece. Or 5 for the Kennedy and 15 for this. However you want to look at it. I feel like I got a steal, and to be honest with you, I didn't haggle that much with the guy. We did buy some other stuff off of him, so it wasn't just these two. And I didn't feel like I was robbing the guy because he knew what they were. You know, he said, hey, that's a Kennedy box, it's a Waterloo. He just wanted to pass them on, and you will find some guys like that. Now you'll find a lot of stuff on the 90 mile yard sale that's way overpriced, and there's a couple items that I passed up, which I'll talk about in a minute. That I'm not going to say they're overpriced. Let's just say they're retail price. So let me get this out of the way. I'll show you one more thing I got here. One more really cool item, and then we'll talk about that. What the hell is that piece of crap? When I saw this, I thought, well, you probably know what I was thinking of using it for, but I didn't know that it was actually for what I was thinking of using it for. On the back side, it's got 3187, made by Malsbury. I can't find a lot of information about them, but from what I can find, this is a forge blower, a blacksmith forge blower, and it's meant to be mounted, I believe, in this configuration with a side mount motor of some sort. It does turn. It's tight though. It's going to need to be gone through. That'll be a future video. We'll go through that, see what's in there, see if we can replace some bearings. The one I did see online actually had this piece mounted to an actual forge bowl. What do they call that piece? I can't think of it. Anyway, the thing that's at the bottom of your forge fire. Like I said, I couldn't find a lot of information online about them, but from what I can tell, this was actually made for a blacksmith forge. I have an actual old Colombian that's restored. It's a pedestal blower. I'll show you that in the future. And it's hand cranked. This one obviously has a small pulley on it, so it was meant to be motor cranked. Of course, we could always put a handle on there. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to restore this little guy up. $25. I didn't haggle with the guy. So let me tell you what I passed up. The first one was a pole-mounted drill press, an old one, laying sideways at the minute, but if you can imagine it tilted up. It was all there. It looked to be complete. It was rusted shut, and it was very pitted. And he wanted, I think he wanted $125 or $150 for it. He was not in the mood to haggle. I probably would have done $50, $75 for it in the condition it was in, just as a piece of art. I would have liked to restore that guy, but it just wasn't happening. The other item I had to pass up was a really nice, it's Charles Parker 8-inch vise. It was in good condition for its age. Didn't have any broken pieces on it. Turned really smooth. The jaws lined up. They needed to be redone, but they did line up. Hadn't been abused too much. Let's just put it that way. But he wanted $250 for it, and probably a fair price, though it's a little retail, and he wasn't moving on it at all. So I left it. Maybe we'll see him next year, and he'll come down a little bit. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me babble on, and we'll see you next time.